right now we're gonna try to reach out to Sakina Samuda, who played Lucille in the movie. So let's reach out to her and see if we could get her and talk a little bit about the role she played also in the movie. Okay, and just hang with us for a little bit, and let's see if we get Sakina.
Hello?
Sakina Samuda, you are live on the air. We're here on TEHUT9 TV talking about the movie What Goes Around. And Sakina Samuda is one of the lead characters in this film. We want to talk to her for a few minutes. Sakina, are you good to talk?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So let me show you all this movie again. This is the movie right here. What Goes Around. This is Sakina Samuda, the beautiful. She played Lucille in the movie, and I'll just let her introduce herself and talk a little bit about her character until, and then we'll get into it a little bit. So go ahead, Sakina. Tell us a little bit about yourself and about your character.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sakina. I play the character Lucille, girl that is, I guess you could say she has low self-esteem. Beautiful girl, low self-esteem. She was abused as a child, so she has some issues with men.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she's a character that everyone loves to hate. And I think people watch the movie, but they really paid attention because she pretty much explained why she is the way she is.
Yes. Yes,
And
she did.
I mean, a lot of women. There are a lot of Lucille's out there,
A lot.
and there are a lot of warning signs
Mm-hmm.
out there, like women that goes through the same thing that she does. So I'm kind of sympathetic. I don't hate her, I understand her and why
Okay.
she is the way she is.
Okay.
When a woman is abused or goes through child molestation, it kind of taints the person. I mean, there's so much I could say about this woman. Oh God.
Well, so
Go ahead.
we just finished talking with Rasatiba. Earlier we talked
Yeah.
we talked with Noah, and he talked about how you prepared for his character and how he would sometimes call you and y'all would work on the scenes that you had together and just try to develop that chemistry so when you got in front of the camera it would be somewhat organic. And given that you guys were in two different locations, he was in New York and you were in Florida. Tell me a little bit about how you developed and how you worked on preparing for your role in this movie. And was this your first film?
Yeah, it's my first film. And how we developed the chemistry, well, we used to talk on the phone almost every day. Ever since I got the script, and he called me and we introduced ourselves, and we would rehearse over the phone. And finally, he came to Florida and met up, and we would rehearse. Even before we all gathered as a group, we would rehearse together, so we just developed a little bit of bond.
Yes.
So it was pretty much easy. And I mean, me as acting, I love what I do. I loved it.
Yes.
So I'm the kind of person that once I get when I'm supposed to do something, I just throw myself into it. I love acting. I would just surrender my real self and throw myself into the character. No matter what it is, or no matter what role I'm playing, I will do it. No matter, I'm not afraid. I'll throw myself into the art. I love it.
There you go. There you go.
And when I work with somebody that is the same, it's easy.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Sakina, do you remember the first tell us some about a memory you had, during the pre-production phase or during even going back as far as the casting call. Tell us about, some things that just, stuck with you things that you will always remember about, what it was like to be on set, or just, being a part of this whole process to making this movie.
Say that again.
I'm saying, do you have any
I'm on the road, so
Okay, you sometimes okay. I was saying, give us a sense of what it was like, for you, any indelible memories, anything that stood out with you, anything that you just like, you feel like you will always remember as that special moment, or just certain whatever, something that happened, what I mean, during the making of the film, or while you were on set, or even going back as far as the casting call, like, what I mean, what is something that stands out with you?
something that stands out with me during the making of the film.
Hmm.
Well, I would have to say it was with one of the cast members who's no longer with us.
Hmm.
He passed away before he was able to complete filming his role. And I remember we were on set, got on set in the morning, and we filmed all the way till 5 the next morning. And he was, as a matter of fact, he was standing between you and I. You're the director.
Hmm.
And he was standing between us, and you said action. And, it was a scene with Carrie Ann and Denzel in the car. They were filming.
Hmm.
And he was just standing there watching, and he had his hand on your shoulder, and he was praying. I'll never forget that.
Hmm.
He was praying, and I was there watching him, and then when he was done, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he smiled and said he was just praying, and like a couple days later, they murdered him.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I was so heartbroken. He flew to Washington, and I heard that he was gone.
Hmm.
And that just stuck with me. I just never forgot that. And to this day, sometimes I wonder what was he saying, because I could just see him closing his eyes, and he was just
Yeah.
whispering and praying to himself. And I always wonder what was it that he was saying.
Yeah,
I just never forget that. That was a time I just never forget it.
I remember that
Never.
night, and I remember that moment too. I mean, it was a very strong spiritual moment, because
It was, yeah,
he was basically telling me that, he knew that what I was trying to do was tough. He knew it was hard, and he told me, that, he said T9 may help you. You know what I mean? I got you. I'm gonna
Yeah.
help you. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry. I'm gonna help you. And he's just such a pure and I don't know, man. I that brother right there, man. I miss him.
I know. I'm
and
feeling
and
sad
and,
right now
and I
talking
feel
about
so
it,
sad.
like,
Just
he's
yeah.
not even here to see the movie. He wasn't able
And
to
he was,
complete it.
a lot of
He
people
wasn't-
don't know this, but he was one of the first person to give me any real support towards making this film real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, he will always have a special place in my heart and in my mind and in my memory.
Yeah.
And this movie is dedicated to him. And
Yes.
I hope that he's proud of how it turned out, how it came out. It's been a long journey, Sakina. You know how long it's been, but the movie's is finally out now. I don't wanna to wallow too much in the sad moments. I always also want to talk about this time of celebration that we're also in, because it's like a child coming into the world. You know what I'm saying? We're celebrating the birth of this movie, or the publicity of it. And
Yeah.
it's been about 2 weeks now, but what has been the feedback you're getting from people that have gotten it, that have seen it, that know you? What's the feedback you get?
They love it. Everyone that I know that watched it, they love it.
Mhm.
I even had to tell someone, like, don't burn my DVD. Someone wanted a copy. I'm like, I'll ship it to them. Just don't burn it, because they love it. Like, people that watch it, they want a copy.
Yeah.
I mean, people love it, and there's a lesson to be learned. It can save someone's life.
Yes.
It wakes you up.
Yes.
You're living in this world, and you're just so happy-go-lucky, enjoying your life and doing all these things. But I I mean, you really got to be careful out there. And this movie, I think, will save a lot of lives. A lot of
Okay.
people love it. Everyone that I know that saw it, they loved it.
What are some of the things they're saying though?
Well, well, there are people go, you know, people questioning their relationship. People,
Really?
they hate me. They
Oh.
hate me. And I'm like, listen, that character isn't real.
It was
You
just a
know,
character.
even my own sister, like, my God, you are bad. I'm like, that's not real.
But you know what that means though? That means you did a good
But it's real
job.
life.
That-
Huh?
That means you did a good job.
Okay. I'll
Yes.
take that.
No, that means you did such a, because if you didn't do a good job, they wouldn't have anything to hate about you. They would just only thing they'd hate is that you did a bad job. But
Yeah.
they don't necessarily hate you, they hate the character that you
I know.
made so real to them, because you know
I
what I
mean,
mean.
but one of the feedback was for someone telling somebody that if they see me in real life, they're gonna F me up. Like, really? That's a character. The character's not even
but
real. It's just a movie. Like, really? Come
yeah,
on.
but you know.
I mean, damn, we have to go into witness protection. We have to go into witness protection because of this movie. Come on, really?
Oh my
Come on,
god.
really?
Oh my god. Yeah, somebody said if they say, yo, that girl a
In
Lucille.
real life.
They say a girl a Lucille. Anyone must see her now.
You know, it messed me up in real life. Like, first of all, I'm not
They
Lucille,
say, she's
okay?
not Lucille.
Sakina is just a person playing Lucille. This is not real. I mean, they
Yeah.
are a couple. I mean,
Yeah.
it's real life situation, you know?
Yeah. I just think
But come on.
when it's so visceral, when the reactions are so strong, it's just telling you how good of a job you did, that you made this character so believable that people stopped seeing you and only saw the character, and that's what to me that's the essence of being a good actor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you disappear and the character appears, you understand what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
a lot of times when you see movies where the acting is so terrible, it's because you can see the people trying to act. You could feel like, damn, they're counting their words. It sounds so robotic. So that's why I was interested in knowing what was your process. How did you prepare for the for being in your first movie? I mean, was it terrifying? What was that? What was it like?
No, it wasn't terrifying. I mean, acting is something I always loved. I always took drama when I was younger. I took American musical theater when I was in high school, and I've taken acting workshops here and there. I mean, it's something I always loved. And honestly, when I was in high school, I was going through a lot of stuff, and I was in a dark phase, and I'm depressed, and that is acting was where I found happiness. I could go on stage and I could just, I don't know, it was therapy for me.
Therapy, yep.
Mm-hmm. Acting was therapy for me, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it saved my life. I just loved it. I always loved the arts.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nothing for me. Like, I mean, I could go to a casting and get booked for a job, and they tell me, play this part. Can you do this? And I'm not shy. I literally abandoned Sakina, put her over somewhere in the corner, and become that character.
How do you
Because
do
that's
that
the
though?
casting.
People
I
want to
don't
know,
know.
how do you do that? What is your process? How do you jump? How do you jump from person to personalities like that? Like, you know what I'm saying? What is it? Just memorizing the lines? Is it something more like what is your process? I mean, or is it just organic? You just figure, okay, this is the.
It's organic.
Mhm.
It's organic. I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
Fear. When it comes to acting, the fear, I don't fear it. I just take it on.
And
What's the process? I don't know how to explain it.
and I have
I
to
really
say,
don't.
so tell us.
I just do it.
Do you remember what your what it was like the first time you saw the movie? And was it? Tell us what that was. What was that like? Was it what you thought it was gonna be? Was it surprising? Was you know, even though you had acted in the movie and you had the script and everything, you know,
Okay, I
tell us
read the
about the
script,
experience. Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know the ending. So I was just as surprised as everybody else.
Because
I don't know how kids like.
I didn't give it an end in the script.
That's what it was, right? Because I do
Yeah.
remember being on set, and then after I read the script and I memorized all my lines. I remember a day when when we filmed the bedroom scene with Denzel and
Mm-hmm.
Lucille.
Mm-hmm.
That day, you handed me a script, a
Mm-hmm.
paper, and I had to memorize these things on set.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, but this wasn't a part of the script, and I was asking a bunch of questions, and nobody would give me any answers. So I was just as surprised when I watched the movie, and I had no idea. I was a part of the ending, but I had no idea what was going on. So I was just as shocked. I was just as shocked as everybody else. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was something.
I was just as shocked and just as upset and just as like, wow, damn, you are crazy. You are crazy. I tell you, you're crazy.
Well, you know what, Sakina, we have much more in you know, lined up to do. I really enjoyed working
Yeah.
with you. I thought you were very professional. I thought you know, you always came prepared, and
Yeah.
you just you know said you know there was no fear. I didn't sense any fear or inhibitions in you, and so I
Yeah.
respected that about you, and I'm very proud of you. You know, I think you did a great job. I think people, you
Thank
know,
you.
people who will feel your character and feel strongly about your character, and strongly about how well you know you portrayed, you know what I mean, the story through that character, and
Yeah.
you were amazing. Now is there anything that you take away from this that you know you feel that you could communicate to other women? Anything from the movie that you've taken away from it that you could communicate to other women that you know you think would be of benefit to them? Like,
Say that again?
what do you take away from this movie, right? And you know, it's
Mm-hmm.
not a documentary. I don't want people to think it's a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a very, how do you say? How would you describe it?
It's educational.
It's educational. It's a very
This movie is
education.
educational, and
But
these
it,
characters we play, it's a movie, but people are living it every single day.
yeah, it's
Every
educational,
single day.
but it's not
Yeah.
preachy and it's not boring and it's not, you know,
It's
like
yeah.
it's
I love the
entertaining.
twist.
Yeah.
And but people, there are people. I'm sure a lot of people can relate.
Mm.
You know, it's a serious issue. What we're talking about here is a serious issue. A lot of people can relate. There are people living that lifestyle every single day, and it's just like a little wake up call to say, hey, take a step back and look at what you're doing and be careful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and also the child molestation part. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's crazy when a child is molested. I mean, it could change your life for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
Indeed.
I mean, you have a lot of grown women, a lot of grown men that are out there acting crazy and doing all these things, but that craziness was rooted somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't protect our kids, it's gonna be a cycle going on and on and on all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's not good to be so judgmental when you see a person become a certain way in life because they've been through some traumatic experience, and that's what makes them the way they are today.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
So
Indeed.
it's real. It's real. It's real.
It's very real indeed.
And I just hope when people watch this movie, they really listen to Lucille and really listen to her, and because she's like, she basically explained why she is the way she is. I mean, she didn't come out and say, this is what happened and this is why I'm doing this. But if you pay attention, like it's a movie where I feel like you could watch, you'd have to probably you know, that they forget how the character was developed and what they spoke about and everything. So just pay attention. And that's what you know, that's what happens in the world every day. Sometimes where our kids are crying out for help and we don't pay attention. And then when something goes wrong, you want to blame them, you want to beat them down, and then you judge this person.
But you don't know what their experiences are, what the experiences have driven them to be the way they are. I get it.
Exactly.
I definitely agree, and that was one of the things I was trying to craft in the character Lucille, is just tell a story, but always try to tell a story from a balanced perspective. You know what I'm saying? Because you know it's easy to create like stereotypical characters. You know,
Yeah.
some girl that's cheating
Yeah, it's very
and
easy.
you know what I'm saying. But what you know,
Yeah.
a lot of times we don't give no context to why people do what they do. Yeah. So I'm glad you mentioned that, and you really like, you know, talked about it, and I really I do believe this is a movie that people can watch multiple times, and
Yeah.
but you know, I talked to Atiba a while ago, and I talked to Noah earlier, and you know, of course, you know, they told their versions of things, and you know, what did you think of like the acting from your point of view? From like, what do you think of Denzel? I mean, Noah's acting and Atiba's acting, and you know what I'm saying, and some of the other actors. What do you think? You know, who really like, who do you really, you know, who was magnetic to you?
I'm gonna say Sylvester acting was magnetic to me.
Sylvester, played by Flipper Mafia.
Flipper Mafia, because to me he was like a natural, you know. And he was like his acting was one of my favorites.
Okay. You ever seen in particular?
The scene of the one. Okay, there's a scene with him and Adonis when they were in a bar playing pool, and Adonis was talking about his married life, and Sylvester was upset that, you know, he's married to this woman and he was just gonna be with her and only her, and he's a one-woman man, and he was just annoyed with the conversation he was having with Adonis, and then he walked away and said he was gonna go get a drink because it was so like a fussy or whatever, and it was so unnatural. And even what I loved with Flipper is the scene with him and Noah. They have a good chemistry on camera. It just seems so organic, so real, and he was just comfortable. I mean, he was great.
Yes, indeed.
Great, and he was like one of my favorite actors in the movie because he was great. He did a great job, hands down. He did a great job. He was my favorite.
Okay. Anybody? Let's talk about Noah. How did Noah
Noah
did?
was good too. Noah was good. You know, it was natural. It was organic between. I mean, I wasn't uncomfortable. You know, Noah was good too. I liked working with Noah. He did a great job.
Good job. And
he did.
And you I mean, you as well. I mean, everybody's gonna talk about your character. I think your character is gonna go down in the history books as one of those iconic characters.
Boy.
It's kind of the same thing I told Atiba, you know, as far as the who did it.
And he was good too. Like when I was even watching his part in the stop when he was educating those other people about the World Health Organization, and I'm like, this man is spitting some truth. Like everybody was so comfortable. I had fun on set. It was fun. I'm glad I met all those people. You know, it was a lot of positive energy. I loved it. I would do it again.
Yes,
I hope to work with you again. I would love to work with you again.
Oh well, gear up, my sister. Gear up.
You know, you're a great writer, huh?
Oh, thank you. Don't stop. Keep going. Let's hear what else you got to say about TEHUT9.
You're a great writer, and listen, it's so funny. I was talking to somebody about you today, and and about the movie, and I'm like, man, this man, I've read a couple of your scripts, and I'm like, I'm just waiting for you to just put it out there, because you are a great writer, and what I love about you, you just love messing with people's head. You love it. I love it. But I can't wait for you to start the next project because you have some great scripts. I think I read like 3 of your scripts already, and they are
appreciate that, my sister.
And
I
I
really do.
can't wait to see it on
Mhm.
screen. Whether I'm in it or not, I just want to see it on screen. I can't wait. I'm excited. I can't wait.
Well, I tell you
So
what.
get to stepping.
I tell you what. I'm excited about working with you again, and I know that's
Yeah.
gonna happen. Very very soon. I have some stuff that I just gotta get some things organized and get all my ducks lined up in the right order, and and again, people, if you want to get this movie, that we've been talking about all night tonight, what goes around, you can get it off my website at
Mhm.
sunrasun.com. It's I have actors that are from different parts of the country. Sakina is down there in Florida. She has it down there. Noah's in New York. He has it up there. Tiba's up in New York. And we have a small distribution company that's hopefully gonna do major things to help us to get it out across the country and into the hands of those who would like to purchase it. But in the meantime, if you haven't gotten it yet, make sure you go to the website right now. I mean www.sunrason.com and purchase a copy. Support us. It was independently produced, independently financed. Um, it's by black people for black people, and everybody can watch this movie. Really, you know what I'm saying? Everybody can watch this movie. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter if you're from the Caribbean. It doesn't matter if you know, you can. This is a movie that I think everybody. Would you agree? Everybody could watch this movie.
Of course.
Hmm.
Everyone.
So so
Caribbean,
support
black,
support support.
white, Spanish, as long as you know English, you can watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a proud black man. I love my people, love my culture. So I always say for black, by black, but it's for everybody. Everybody could watch this movie. You could support this movie, and we'd really appreciate it. We want to keep on making films. We want to keep on telling our story and tell them with an authentic from an authentic place where we're not always
Mhm.
spooning and buffooning and what I'm saying. We don't have to always be playing up to the stereotypes. You know what I mean? So for
Let's
me
have a
as a as
big
a, as
stuff
a
down here to
yeah,
tell,
for
you
me
know?
as a writer director Sakina, I really enjoy like telling stories that people can relate to. Um, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I'm a big fan of movies. I love watching movies. I love stories really. Good stories.
Yeah.
So when I started making movies, that was one of the things that I was psyched about. I wanted to make sure that whatever I was doing, I never
Mhm.
compromised telling a good story. Whether I had the
Mhm.
money or the equipment or even the proper training. I'd make sure that I anchored always everything on the story. Because if you have the best camera and the best director of photography or all the technical people in the world, but you have a bad story,
Yeah.
that's what's going to come across. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
for me, I feel like that's what has anchored me and has kept me on solid ground from the first film to all the way to this one. From Foreign to Bashment and now to What Goes Around. So I really appreciate all the people who supported me already. And
Mhm.
if you can get one, if you can support, just go support. It's sunrasun.com. All right. Sakina, anything else you want to say? Anybody you want to big up, shout out?
No, just thank you if you got the movie. Thanks for your support. And if you don't have it, go to sunrise.com and get yourself a copy. You know.
Thank you,
And
thank you, thank
that's
you.
pretty much it. Thank you.
Yeah, we want to give a big shout out again to Johnny Blacks down there in Florida. Want to also give a big shout out to Island Entertainment, Mr. Mark Ricketts, who is helping us to distribute this film. We also want to give a big shout out to VP Records, who's gonna come on board and help us with some of the distribution, and you know all the actors, all the cast, all the crew members, Chris Kayla, out there in New Mexico, Arvin Ragaputi,
Irvin
yeah,
Patrick.
Patrick, Giovanna Nazi, um, Drizzle, you know what I'm saying? There's
Yeah.
so much people that helped us along the making of this film and Winston Haywood again, Alton Ashman, I
Oh
couldn't have
yeah.
done this thing without you guys.
Mark.
And Mark, oh my God, Mark Stewart,
Mark
and may he
Stewart.
rest
Oh
in
my God.
peace.
From
There's so many, so
yeah.
much. It's it like we could be here all night talking about the journey that we've been on over the last 8 years in making
Mhm.
this movie and bringing it to the public. And so I'm very proud of all the actors, and everybody
Yeah.
that participated. And right now we're in the next phase where we're trying to get this thing distributed and out there. So help us to spread the word. Share this on your Facebook page.
Mhm.
Let people know about it. And again, if you could support a copy, support sunrasun.com. And there's many ways to support. Sakina, it's not always about a dollar. You know, you can
Yeah.
tell somebody
Yeah.
about it. You can share it, like we say. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
the support, you know, any way you can, we appreciate it. Sakina, I want to thank you again. I'm sure we'll be talking again pretty soon. But I want to thank you for
Mhm.
calling in and amazing job once again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. All right. So
All
that was
right.
Sakina Samuda. Thank you, Sakina. Bye.
All right. Bye, y'all.
So that was Sakina Samuda. We're gonna shut it down right now. Want to thank you for tuning in. This is the TEHUT9 TV, where we inspire thought, provoke thinking. We want you to switch your mind on, keep it switched on, because you know what I mean. That's what's gonna make the difference. Thank you again, everybody. Peace out.